YouTube. So today we have a major transformation. We're gonna go ahead and trim whatever this is on top. Ain't that right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna fade up the sides. So stay tuned. This is gonna be crazy. Let's go. Alright, so let's get into it. We're gonna go ahead and pin up the top first, just because since it's already an undercut, it's just gonna be easier to fade the sides since we can see everything. So we're gonna start off by creating our bald line that drops towards the back. And before we get into the fade, I'm gonna go ahead and line up his arch just so it helps make sure that we keep this area dark. So I'm starting at the top of the arch and then going to the bottom and meeting it in the middle. And then I'm going to use my corners just to go ahead and detail it up a little bit. And now we're going to flip that trimmer around and just go ahead and bald it out, shave the bottom, stopping right where I left off when I established it. Now we're going to go to the other side and do the same exact thing. And yes, my trimmers are 0 gaps, if for anyone who, was wondering. And now I am going to use the shaver to get it a little closer to the skin. Now we're going to come in with our lever all the way open on our clipper. And we're going to go up about a finger's width here, still maintaining that drop shape. And now to get rid of that line in between, I went ahead and close that lever all the way and start tapping at that line. And then as we move up, you'll see me open up that lever little by little. And you'll see as we continue to fade, his skin turns very red, and it's because he has sensitive skin. So, if you guys notice that, that is why. Now following that up, we're going to have our 1 guard lever all the way open. And just as you would guess, going up a finger's width again. And we're just staying consistent here, still following that process, right? That drops towards the back. And we're just working. Now to start getting rid of that line in between, I went ahead and closed that lever all the way. Still have that 1 guard on there, and it's just going to lighten up that line a little bit. So that way it's a lot easier to come in and get rid of it. So now right above that, we're going to go 2 guard lever all the way open. Now this will be the biggest guard that we use, because I want to maintain that weight or that darkness towards the top of his fade, right? The parietal ridge. Since we are going to trim the top, and it's going to be curls sitting right on top of that. So what we want to do is let this grow out, so that way when the curls sit on it, it all blends. Now right under that 2 guard open, we're going to have our 1.5 lever all the way open. And then we'll go ahead and close that as needed. And if you guys are wondering where the guards are from, make sure you go check out martyblendz.com. He has all the guards, all the different colors, if you guys were wondering where I got them from. He also has a YouTube channel as well, if you don't already know. Go look at Marty Blendz on YouTube. Now to get rid of this last line, I'm going to come in with my 1/2 guard lever all the way open. And I'm just continuing to work and try to blend this out as best as possible. So I'll come in open, and then you'll see me gradually go ahead and close that lever as needed. And you'll see me use a lot of the corner of the blade to go ahead and detail into those dark spots and dark areas, especially as it drops towards the back. So you'll see right here, I go halfway, and now we're just gradually moving down. And now I think I'm all the way closed here, and as we continue to move down and work at that line, it starts to come out. But then I do take off the 1/2 guard and come in with my lever open, no guard, just to detail a little bit and get into those dark areas. And that blend is coming together very nicely, and it could be difficult, especially when the client's head turns red. But we're getting after it. And now to maintain that weight along the top, I'm going to use clipper over comb. And this is going to allow me to transition from that 2 guard into that weight very nicely, without having to shave up all the way with that 2 guard. And then this will gradually start to grow out, and then when we trim the top, right, the curls will blend into the sides a lot better. But since he has an undercut, it will be a process. And now we're gonna line up his arch, since we didn't start off by doing it on this side. So I'm gonna start at the top of his arch, and then we're gonna go to the bottom and connect those 2 points in the middle. And this is really gonna frame everything out and bring it together. And now we're gonna go to the middle of his head, and we're gonna move towards his right side, trying to keep this as natural as possible, while at the same time getting it as symmetrical as possible. And now we're gonna move to the other side and do the same thing. Now his curls are gonna fall over, you know, when we get to the finished product, but you know, he wants the front line up anyway, so. And you can see how it really makes that blend pop. Now we are going to enhance it, since this lineup isn't the darkest thing. So we're gonna come in with our airbrush, which is a Kiss Express and alcohol mix. And we're just gonna apply it gently, pull away the card, and then apply more if needed. Same thing on this side. And I do admit I could have sprayed it a little lighter, but I still don't think it was terrible. And now we're gonna come in with our razor to get all those little hairs that, you know, the trimmer couldn't quite get, and this is just gonna sharpen up everything. And if he were to leave with this cut right here and keep the top, I don't think it was a bad look. But you know, he wanted something new, so we're gonna go ahead and get the top, and we're gonna take it off with our clipper first to get the majority off. So I'm just coming in with my clipper and just, you know, taking off all that excess that we don't want. And you'll see I have to go over it a few times, and these clippers are powerful. It just shows how thick his hair really is. And as you can see, even after we cut it, my man's has a lot of hair. So we're gonna go ahead and dampen his hair and get into the detailed trim. Now he still wants very long curls on top, but he definitely wants a nice trim, right, to even everything out. So we're gonna take off about 1 inch here all the way around, and we're just gonna move back with it. So we're starting in the middle. We're not pulling too tight since his curls have a lot of shrinkage, but we're putting, you know, a decent amount of tension here, and we're just moving back with it. And since he has curly hair, I'm not using the fine tooth side of the comb. I'm using the wider side, just because it grabs the hair a lot better without pulling it too hard. Now after we complete this will be our guideline or our reference point when trimming the rest. So after we do that, we'll move towards his right a little more, and you'll see the difference in length, and then we're just going to cut everything to that guideline that we established. And for me, learning how to trim curly hair was very difficult at first, just because it was hard to section, and it was hard to kind of get, you know, a good grasp on it, since the hair wants to curl around your finger. But with this, I just figured, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna try to create all these sections as I would on you know, someone with a more straight hair texture. We're just gonna move back slowly, little by little, and try to make this as even as possible. Now we're moving towards his left side, still doing the same thing, using the middle as our guideline or our reference point. And we're just moving back with it. And you can see, even on this left side of the head, it was a lot more irritated than the right. And, you know, my trimmers are zero gap, but they're not to the point where, you know, it'll tear up somebody's skin. So that just goes to show how sensitive this client's skin really is. And even he says it, when he shaves, man, he gets a lot of irritation. He always nicks himself. So, you know, I just want to use that as a disclaimer that I'm not out here, you know, just tearing up folks' skin. And after we complete the trim, we're going to come in with some curly hair product. I think this is Shea Moisture, and we're just gonna work it into his hair, which is already damp, and we want to make sure that we get it to the roots. So we're just gonna work that in here. And I always start off by applying the product in the back first and then working towards the front, because the front doesn't always need as much as the back. And I'm gonna use the diffuser to go ahead and dry it. And as you can see, them curls are coming out very nicely. Now we're detailing the fade just a little bit using the corner of that blade. But as you can see, my client came in with some very long hair and he left with a nice trim that's going to be a lot easier to manage. But fam, this is the cut. This was a crazy transformation. I just want to thank you for watching this video, and if it helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and drop a comment down below. Now we're just going to go ahead and clean up the client's neck, take the cape off. But like always fam, thank you, and I will catch you guys next time.